The app was called Hi There, Highthere. Hi There, or as the media love to call it, the Tinder for tokers. I have to back up to tell you that I was actually a part of the problem I'm talking about. At the time, I was the co-founder and CEO of a dating app. The app was tailored to a very specific group of people in the industry I had been in for about 4 years, the marijuana industry. The app was called Hi There, Highthere. Hi There, or as the media love to call it, the Tinder for tokers. That's not a joke, that actually happened. And I was obsessed with social connectivity and social apps and customization. One of the things our users wanted constantly in the app was more customization, dial in more features. I want age, I want distance. People wanted distance down to 100 feet. That is not a joke, that was actually a request. Something heartbreaking happened on the app as we were developing it and it launched initially. I'm sitting there just going through the app, checking out profiles, kind of figuring out functionality, and I get a message in the messenger on the app from a woman named Susan. Now, Susan was having a hard time, and she felt like her app was broken. So I had our guys look at it to see if it was in fact broken, and it wasn't. It was working fine. But she said to me through our conversation that she couldn't get anyone to connect with her, and she was afraid something was wrong. She literally said, "I think there's something wrong with me." That was heartbreaking to me. Here I am, the CEO of a piece of technology breaking hearts already. As it turned out, Susan was a cancer survivor. And Susan was on the app to meet other cancer survivors. She used marijuana because it was a way for her to get through her neuropathy, her pain that she would feel after chemotherapy, and it was a way for her to sleep at night. And she just wanted to meet people like her. Susan was also 60 years old, and her profile picture was her without hair, with a giant smile on her face. I had developed something where people could tune her out and dial away from her and never see her or connect. And I realized it was heartbreaking. I was a huge part of the problem. Me. It was my fault that she was feeling this way. She told me she felt sad, lonely, and depressed. Whew. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to know you've done that. But what I did with Hi There is I had a realization. We need to turn it into a tool, not destroy it or scrap it. So what we did was we turned it into a tool. And inside the app, I created something called My Story. My Story was 420 characters, of course. 420 characters. Takes everybody a minute. 420 characters to tell your story. People could talk about they had PTSD from being in Afghanistan. They could say, I have cancer and I'm trying to recover and I want to meet people like me. They can say, I just love cannabis because I'd rather have that on a Saturday night than drink a bottle of wine. It didn't matter. They could tell their story, and it worked. The app jumped from 40,000 users to almost 300,000 within the year after we initiated My Story. And the best part of that story is that Susan wrote me back and said, thank you, because now I'm connected. Let that sink in. It's the power of our stories that makes us unique.